Another week has gone by, and for the first time in 2021, y'all, you all are officially rolling with Ramsey. Hey, gotta love it. So, man, all I can say is, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. So much I want to talk about. So many things I want to discuss. I have a phenomenal guest today. I can't wait to bring her. She's currently in the waiting room. Hey, Debbie, I see you. You are officially rolling with Ramsey today. Wow. Whew. Can I just exhale for a second? Can I just breathe? Because I'm being honest with y'all, I'm a little tense right now. I got some things on my mind I want to get off. And it's going to be fun and interesting to talk about it with my guest today. Wow. I mean, it is just, I've seen some things today that I never thought that I would see in my lifetime. And so some things that have me concerned, some things that we just need to be able to talk about. You all remember that Rolling with Ramsey is a podcast that is all about bringing people together and having healthy conversations, whether we agree or not. And that's what this country needs. We need to be able to talk to one another. We need to be able to have true, factual conversations. And we need to be able to talk. And we need to be able to discuss things in love. And so that's what we need to be able to talk about. And that's what's up. Oh, man, what's up? Hey, cuz, I see you. My cousin is on. My cousin Jackie's on. You are officially rolling with Ramsey. I love you, too. That's a beautiful thing. So we're going to be able to talk about some things today. But right now, man, I want to bring on my phenomenal guest. Her name is Miss EMichele Paul. She is the CEO and founder of Melanin Enterprises. We're going to talk about that today. And it's all about being able to support Black-owned businesses. I'm a firm believer that I believe that consumers miss a part of the economy that can make things grow, because sometimes you just overlook things because what? You're not aware that they're there. You just don't know. And then if you are really trying to support business in your community, particularly Black-owned businesses, my guest today, she created an app to where you could find that those businesses very easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm getting ready to bring her in. My phenomenal guest today. So y'all bear with me. Here we go. There she is. That's all right. Man, caught her off guard a little bit. Can you hear me, Michelle?
Can you hear me?
I got you. You are here. You are live and in person. You are on the scene.
I don't know what was happening with my computer. I was trying to download Zoom on my phone.
Hey, that's okay. You're all right. And so that's all right. So listen, like I was telling everybody earlier, I have a phenomenal guest here today. And I want to share something with you all that y'all didn't hear me say earlier. My guest today, she is a retired Marine Corps veteran. Hey, for one time for the mind, simplify, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Marines. And she is a business owner of a phenomenal app called Melanin Enterprises that allows consumers to easily find and support Black-owned businesses in your community, no matter where you are. And that's why I've got her on here today, so we can talk about things she's been doing in the community, things she's been doing with her app. Hey, listen. EMichele Paul, you are officially doing what?
Rolling with Ramsey.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, how was your day today?
Oh, wow. Are you in America?
Hey, you know what? That's a loaded question. I told my audience today. I said we got to talk about some things now. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm watching both streams. So if people come in, they want to field questions. I'll entertain those questions. I'll feed them to you. You'll be able to answer. There you go. So
Okay, sounds good. And I'm gonna just go ahead and go live on Facebook.
okay, all right, you could do that as well. So she's trying to maximize the moment. So I want her to maximize the moment as well, so she can have all her followers make sure that they like, follow, subscribe, like the Rolling with Ramsey Facebook page, follow Rolling with Ramsey on IG, and subscribe to the Rolling with Ramsey YouTube channel. Come on now, I need all the help I can get.
Come on with it.
Come on now. I want to be, look, I've downloaded the Melanin Enterprises app. I have it on my own phone, but I did not see like a little drop down for podcasts. I saw every other type of business.
It's on there. We got some podcasts now.
Listen, look,
we got the Convo LNE right here, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Come on, then. You need to get Rolling with Ramsey on there. Then we need to fix that. I need to fix that then.
Yes, sir.
But what a day! Before we jump into Melanin Enterprises, before we jump into everything you got going on, let's talk about the events of today. All right, let's do that. We're gonna jump in the deep end of the pool. Now, I put up some posts today. I was mad, I was angry, but I spoke from the heart. And I'm gonna say, I said it before, and I'll gladly say it again. Y'all remember, Rolling with Ramsey is all about having healthy conversations with people, whether we agree or not. Tony Graham, I see you. We're Rolling with Ramsey. Come on now. Tony said, please type the contact and information, how to get the app in the message section. Tony, I will tell you this. I have already there's a link on the Rolling with Ramsey Facebook page to the Melanin Enterprises Facebook page. There's a link there, but I got you, brother. Don't worry. We'll make sure you have that before the end of the show. We're going to jump into the deep end of the pool. And one of the posts I said earlier today was very simple. Black folks that have been storming the Capitol, like we've been watching all afternoon on the news, it would be a totally different situation. I am not trying to, first of all, you got two veterans talking right now together. So you got two veterans, a Marine Corps veteran, 23-year Army veteran, and I'm just calling it like I see it. And the bottom line is this. If the majority of those people today, I'll go with 85%. I won't even go with 95. Matter of fact, I'll drop it down to 75. If 75% of those people today had been people of color, not even just black folks, people of color. So that could have been African-American, Mexican-American, people of color, minorities, storming the Capitol. The scene would have been very different. I'm sorry. We have an example for this. The president has already been set. A peaceful Black Lives Matter protest was taking place. The president wanted to take a picture in front of a church for a photo op, and they tear gas, physically pushed people away. People were injured. All of these things came into play, and the crowd was nowhere near the size of what took place today. Nowhere near.
You know why, though? You know why?
Come on now. Ellen, just
no. Let me tell you why. Because I know what you think I'm going to say.
No. I was just going to.
What I'm going to say is different. The reason nobody died, the reason nobody got tear gas is simple. It's simple. They wasn't trying to spend a $20 a fake $20 bill. They wasn't eating Skittles. They wasn't sitting on their couch. It's not a race thing, man.
They weren't selling loose cigarettes. They wasn't selling loose cigarettes. Come on now.
That's what it was.
They weren't going for a jog.
Right.
They weren't having
they weren't sitting in their house eating ice cream, watching TV on their couch.
Guess what? They weren't having an argument with their girlfriend. Let me see. What else can I say? They weren't speeding. Yeah, speeding. I think Sandra Bland was speeding.
They weren't sitting in their car and then told the cop that they was licensed to carry.
Come on. And so
None of that.
And so I'm sorry, but everybody watching, you have to understand our frustration. You have to understand our frustration. We just watched for hours. People broke windows. I have a picture on my phone of where they've got the either it was a Senate chamber or the congressional chamber, like a dresser in front of the door, and they had their guns drawn on people because they broke in. A dude broke into the Senate chamber and sat where Mike Pence was at earlier. Are you kidding me? This was a coup. This was literally, and the president of the United States incited this riot because that's exactly what it was. And I'm sorry, where were the thugs at on TV today? Where were all, come on now, talk to me.
That the staged video that he did, they said that it took him 3 times to do that.
Well, they said that he didn't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
They said he didn't even want to do it. Tony, just so you know, my guest, she dropped the link for you in the comment section. I saw that. I saw where you did that. See, I can see it.
And they say Marines can't do 2 things at once.
Come on. Come on. I don't look here. I'm not going to bash the Marines today. I got plenty of Marine friends. Come on. But this is, I was listening to the historian talk today. And I've got the TV on in the background, guys. So if you see me glance away, the curfew has gone into effect in D.C. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get all these people off the street. I was listening on the TV today, and they said that the Capitol had not been stormed since the War of 1812.
Well, the Vietnam War, but it wasn't as radical as this.
But they didn't get in though. Vietnam, the protests, they didn't get inside. These people were inside the Capitol building, and no one had stormed the Capitol since the War of 1812 when it actually got burned. Not all the way down, but they had set it on fire. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm looking at this crowd today, and I'm keep asking myself, and you all got to understand, myself and my guest, Ms. Paul, we have different perspectives because we are veterans. We took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The same oath all those senators and congressmen took that were inside the Capitol. The same oath that Ted Cruz took, who is trying to make up these frivolous objections to them counting the Electoral College votes today.
Yeah.
And I see him as a traitor against the Constitution and against the United States of America for doing so. Because this is what you get, because I did a show a few episodes back on basic principles of government. And this is exactly what happens when you do not check. There's no systems of checks and balances. So for 4 years, the executive branch has gone unchecked from the legislative branch. They basically lined themselves up with the executive branch, and they ain't said nothing. Nobody has said anything for 4 years, and this is the result of it. Today, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, for the first time, showed, I don't even want to say some courage, because you should have just upheld your oath. His words today, for the first time, I don't know, you tell me what you think about it, because I'm sure you saw what he had to say.
Yeah, I saw it. And you could tell it pained him to do it. You could tell the look on his face. It was like he was searching for the words. He was every word. He was like, I can't believe I got to say this. I can't believe I got to say this. And that part right there is sad. Mike Pence also wrote a letter, and in it, he talked about how, he swore an oath under God. Well, Where was God for the whole 4 years you was in office? Where was your moral courage?
Come on now.
The whole 4 years you
Come
was
on.
in, now you're going to have to answer to him.
Yeah.
Don't wait until, the last day of the last, no,
That's right.
son.
That's right. That's right. And I'm just, hey, listen, hey, I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm calling it like I see it. You all know I try not to go down the rabbit hole too deep, but after what I saw today, it seemed like nothing is off limits. Because guess what? Here's the deal. You haven't said anything for 4 years. And here's what I want everybody to think about. The president has been saying that the election was rigged, that they stole it, that they've been something nefarious. But Senator Klobuchar, she made it real clear. She broke it down for him. She said, it's real interesting how the same people who are objecting, some of which got elected on the same day, on the same state, you're not saying that your votes weren't bad. You're just saying that something went wrong with the presidential votes. No, if it went bad for all of y'all, then technically you shouldn't even be able to object because you shouldn't even be in there.
Right.
So they're not even talking. I mean, she broke it down hard. But here's what's crazy. If the man really wanted to get reelected, all he had to do was something really simple. And you could tell me
be a president, be presidential.
Be a president and be presidential ain't even it. I'm not even going to give him that. Miss Paul, you know what I know. If the man had to put on a mask, he'd have got reelected. If he'd have put on a mask, if he'd have just done something as simple as putting on a mask, he would have got.
No, because then his base wouldn't have rode for him like they did.
Hey, look, I believe that he would have gotten. No, I think he would have gotten reelected. They would have seen him as a hero. They would have followed him right down the road because I've made it very clear. I said it early today in the post. His supporters are equivalent to Jim Jones followers. They have officially drank the Kool-Aid. They listen to every lie that he said. They follow. They don't. You can't talk to them. You can't have a healthy conversation with them. They do not want to believe anything. But here's the thing that they're not thinking about. All them folks that followed Jim Jones, except for a few that escaped, they all died. I'm just saying. They believed him. They followed him. They believed every word he had to say. They hung on his every word, and they all died. Hey, and it looked like to me today, I don't know how it didn't happen, but I would have thought that storming the U.S. Capitol should have been a situation where folks lost their lives. I am sorry. You mean to tell me if I run through the security checkpoint at the airport that I wouldn't get shot? But
you would.
But you mean to tell me that but folks can go storm the U.S. Capitol, break inside, walk around with stuff that they done stole because they looting and stuff, and they not catching no bullets? Come on now. Somebody talk to me. Come on. What say you, Miss Marine? Come on now.
You already know. You saying it without even saying it.
This is. And listen, I want to give a shout out. And we just gonna keep it 100. I want to give a shout out to my white brothers and sisters who have rebuked the actions of today, who have not held back, who have said, whether you commented on my personal post earlier, and said clearly answering the question, oh, you'd have got shot. You know what I'm saying? So when I see you recognizing the difference, I have to make sure I recognize where you stand. It's all the people that are not saying anything that worry me. It's the people who are not commenting that worry me. Because now what you're telling me is, and you can tell me whether you agree with me or not, like they're acting as if like the ends justify the means. And that can't be the case in this situation.
So I'm sure that whomever commented appreciates you saying that, to the public. But, for whomever is watching this that doesn't look like me, we are not talking about black or white. We are not talking about Republican or Democrat. We are talking about America and the injustices in the community. And if you live in America, if you breathe in America, if you have friends and family and associates in America who don't look like you, it is even me. Can you see me? I don't know if you see what my computer is doing, but
No,
I told you, my computer is acting.
Don't worry about your computer. I got you. Keep going.
Okay. If you have people, in your network, in your community, in your life that don't look like you, and that goes for me too, it's imperative that we know what's going on in this world. We cannot be citizens of the United States and not have a good picture of what goes on. We can't consider ourselves America if we only know one part of it, which is one of the reasons why I travel, which is one of the reasons why I take road trips. Crossing the Continental Divide a couple of weeks ago, I was in the middle of all kinds of farmland, and I saw all kinds of things that I ain't never seen before in my life because I'm not from that part of the country. And while I was there, I was actually trying to figure out, okay, what is it about these people that work these jobs, that live in these types of homes, that would make them see something better in Trump that would create a better life for them. So even I have to challenge, some of the things that right. I know to be true.
That you're absolutely right. And it's funny that you say that, because I'll tell you a quick story. So I was in Minnesota, and I was at Mall of America, and I'm sitting, and I went and got something to eat. I was waiting on my flight. I had a lot of time. And so I went to get something to eat from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. So I went in, I sat down, I got me a seat at the bar, and I had a beautiful white couple, older white couple on one side of me, and some other people. I really wasn't paying attention. And it's the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. So obviously Forrest Gump is playing on the TV above the bar and this, that, and the other. And, I casually look up, and I'm looking at the scene in the movie, and it was one of the many times that he got to go to the White House. And I just casually make this statement. I said, it's a shame that people don't even want to go to the White House anymore. And so the gentleman on the side of me, he goes, why do you say that? So I had to take a pause, and I was like, do I really want to have this conversation? I said, okay, I'm going to try today. And I said, because our president doesn't act like he's a president for everyone, this, that, and the other, and so forth. And I said, hey, before you respond, hey, I'm a 23-year veteran. I flew Black Hawk helicopters. I served my country with honor.
But why do you have to say that? Why can't you just be an American and give your opinion?
Hey, you're absolutely right. But guess what I was trying to do? I was putting out an olive.
It doesn't matter. They wouldn't have said it.
You're right. I put out an olive branch. You're right. And I didn't have to. But to come to find out that they were farmers. They were farmers, and they kind of tried to go in on farming and how they weren't making money and this, that, and the other. Now, what they weren't expecting is for me to be educated and on the up and up on what was going on in the farming world. I said, oh, really? I said, well, if my memory serves me correctly, there was a bill of almost 27 plus $27 million that was for farmers aid and so forth that they could tap into, and they could get part of this money if they needed to keep their farms afloat and this, that, and the other. So they wasn't prepared for that. And then they wasn't prepared for me to say how it's easier for them to get the money, but a black farmer, it's 10 times as hard for them to get the money. And so I said, all I'm going to ask you is a very simple question. Do you feel like this president is a president for everyone? Not just you, not just me, but for everybody. You know what happened, right?
What?
They paid for their food and they left. And their plates was full. They paid for their food and they left full plates of food, and they got up and they walked out. Now,
but the president is for, people will tell you all the time, the president, Dave Chappelle said it. Dave Chappelle looked at his whole audience and said, the president don't give a care about you. He care about me. He care about rich people.
Oh, Come on now. And that's the whole thing that people don't understand. If they go back and look at the laws and the bills and his tax plan that he passed, it only affected, come on, that small percentage that I know that in my lifetime I'm striving to get there, but I don't know if I'm ever getting that tax bracket. And quiet as it's kept, we don't know if he's even officially in that tax bracket. But that's a whole nother story. But they got up and they left. And I think it's sad because people do not want to have factual conversations. I tell people all the time, I say, hey, we live in the United States of America. You have the right to support who you want to support. You can support him. But if you want to have a conversation with me about his actions, we have to have a factual conversation, not opinion, not a subjective conversation, but an objective one. If we're not going to talk in facts, we might not even talk. Don't even talk to me. Because the fact still remains today's date, which is January 6, 2021, broke another record. More people died of the coronavirus today than any other day since this virus has been identified. Today.
But every day we breaking those records.
And we're breaking those records every day. But back in February, he knew that the virus was 5 times greater and more potent than the common flu. And he lied to all of us. Mm-hmm. So, look, we done gave him enough time. We already know that we condemn the actions of today. We need to pray for our nation. No matter what God you serve, Allah, Buddha, Jesus Christ, whoever you serve as your deity, send up a shout out, positive energy for our country, because we need healing right now more than ever. And we need people. It's funny because in our community, we say stay woke. That's the new thing. Stay woke. You need to stay woke. Well, guess what? I need the whole other half of the country that don't look like you and I to wake up. Get you some Maxwell House, some Folgers, set your alarm clock, do something. But wake up out of this nightmare that you're in, because it's not a dream. All right. That being said, hey, listen. You all are rolling with Ramsey. It's a great day. I'm on with Marine veteran EMichele Paul, CEO and founder of Melanin Enterprises. Tell us about the concept and how you decided and why you decided to come up with such a phenomenal app.
Mm-hmm. So Melanin Enterprise actually just started off. So in 2016, 17, my children were becoming of age and they were about to leave my house. And I, like every other parent that looks like me or has a fear of their children leaving the house and them feeling helpless, I knew that I needed to do something to ensure my children's safety when they was outside of my home. I can't protect my kids outside of my home. So I started looking every time my youngest son joined the Navy, and my oldest was talking about moving here to North Carolina. So every time, my son would go from Chicago to Mississippi to, I think, Virginia to wherever I knew my son was going, like, I would just start looking up Black-owned businesses. Okay, Dominic, when you in Mississippi, don't leave the base. But if you do, you can go to these restaurants, you can go to these coffee shops, you can go to these, get your hair cut out here. So I just started thinking, I was just like, why don't I do that, like, for other parents? And so it just became like a resource for parents. So I started looking for an app developer, found an app developer, and then he created Melanin Enterprise. And initially it was just supposed to be, so parents wouldn't have that fear.
Wow.
But then it started growing, like everybody started using the app. Everybody started downloading the app. Everybody started using the app for their own different things. Business owners started using it to find other business owners. I'll tell you a cool story. One of my favorites, story. I had a realtor, in our community, in the Black community, we always talking about either buying the block or buying property, buying land. But we always talk about generational wealth. Generational wealth is huge, at least in my circle of influence. So I had a realtor, Tiffany Sears. I'm going to make sure I tag her in this. maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you want to take that out. I don't know if she want to
Oh,
let her people know.
it's okay.
But I had a realtor that contacted me and told me that her vendor list didn't have any Black vendors on it. No Black home inspectors, no landscapers, no
Wow.
HVAC techs, no nothing that you needed as a realtor to be able to do your job effectively. None of those photographers, staging photographers. So she called me and told me that she uses my app to actually recycle her money in her business. I had a truck driver who called me on the road and said that this is his route. He's using my app to stay safe on the road, a truck driver. So, one, I love the fact that people feel like they're so connected, not just to the app, but they know the person behind the app. It's not just a thing. There's a person behind the thing. There's a story behind that thing. And I make myself available to them. So I love the fact that I'm not only am I building a safe community, but I'm building a strong community alliance.
Right, right. So, my cousin, Miss Holden, Jacqueline Holden,
Hey, cousin.
she says, Miss Paul, your app is wonderful. She says, however, at the same time, it reminds me of the Green Book back in the era of segregation.
Yeah.
And you know what? It does. It can seem. I mean, it does if you're using it in that manner. You're traveling and so
Yeah,
forth.
people actually call it the Green Book of 2020 2.0. They call it the Green Book 2.0.
Right. And so, definitely could say that. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we highlight the fact that business owners, black business owners, can download the app and then make sure they highlight their businesses wherever they are.
Yeah.
And I think and what I'm good about is when I run across people now, I'm having them drop you a DM like, hey, you need to reach out to her so we can get you on the app.
So tell them, just give them my number, because my DMs, I'm backed up on my DMs. I'm the only one working my Instagram, and I have 2 businesses.
Okay.
So if I'm not connected with them, it's going to go into my spam. And so my spam isn't going to be my first priority.
I'll make sure to do that because I was speaking with a black owned heating and air conditioning company out of the Houston, Texas area, and
Shout out to Texas.
right. And so I wanted to make sure. I was like, man, you got to make sure to get you on here. So she downloaded the app, and I believe if they download the app, they can go ahead and add. Can they add their business themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's what I told her. So she downloaded the app, and I think she was able to navigate. She said, I'm a business owner. Let me click on being a business owner.
Yeah.
So she went through the process. But I still want to, like you said, I want them to have that connection to you so that you know that you're reaching out and touching other areas and other parts of the country. Because one of the things is, oh, man, Texas in the house. I see you, Brother Cook. Man, come on. You are definitely Rosa.
I'm from Beaumont.
Hey,
What up?
come on. You're rolling with Ramsey. Oh, man. Happy New Year, brother. We got to catch up. I was thinking about you the other day. And that's the beautiful thing about the app. Now, I want to say this because guess what? I have a very diverse audience who's watching and so forth. Do not feel left out. Download the app yourself, even if you're not black, so you can support the black-owned businesses in your local community. Guess what? Everybody's money spends the same, but I will tell you this. Sometimes talent is overlooked because you just didn't think to look in that direction. Hear what I just said now. Talent is overlooked because you didn't think to look in that direction. So while you've been going to your particular mechanic and think you're getting the best service you can get, what if he's sick? This, that, and the other. Or what if you find a place that's closer that gives you A+ top-notch service that you just kept passing by all this time? If we want to truly jumpstart this economy, we have to put our dollars everywhere. Now,
Yeah. A lot of people will use the word equality. I try my best never to use the word equality because equal doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. If I give you 50 cents and you give me 50 cents, that's not that, believe it or not, that's not equality. We both don't have 50 cent because because what else do you have in addition to that? I use the word equity. So when people spend their money, when people outside of the Black community spend their money, consciously spend their money in a Black owned business, just like they do people will go and seek out a veteran owned business. I had a guy personally attack me this week and tell me I would have felt better if you're a retired Marine. I would have felt better if you would have said that you help veterans. I was like, I don't care about making you feel better. But it's not about, it's when you consciously decide to spend your money in a business that doesn't normally receive the same as the other businesses, then you're consciously deciding to create a better community in your, where you live by saying that I'm going to spend my money over here just as much as I do over here. You're ensuring safer streets, safer schools.
Come on,
better,
that's right.
Your taxes are going to the right places, but if you don't, then what happens is this community is lacking in those resources. And now that's when the crime starts to get increased. That's when all of these bad things start to happen.
Right.
Why? Because you didn't make a conscious decision to do over here what you do over here. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm just asking you to be a conscious consumer.
Come on now, preach. That's what I'm talking about. Be a conscious consumer. Because guess what? She's absolutely right. When you ignore one community and you act like it's not there's no balance.
Or not even acting like it's not there. What I get, what the Karens and the Bills of the world, and I'm not talking about white people, I'm talking about people who come online and attack me. I'm talking about them specifically. What they come online and the first thing they want to tell me is I'm being racist because I'm discriminating, or I'm being a segregationist because I'm telling people to spend money here. No, I'm telling you to be more aware. I'm telling you to be more conscious. And guess what? If you're cool with you're telling me, well, what happens if I went to a white business owner? Tell me how. Go look in the communities that are filled with Black families, and tell me how many businesses are going out of business right now.
Come on.
Tell me how many eviction notices you see up. And then come over here in my neighborhood where I live, which is a pretty good side of town, and nothing is closed. No eviction notices.
That's right.
So all I'm telling you is just to be aware of what's going on in your city.
That's right. That's right. Preach, because that's exactly what's happening. And from the very beginning, the ripple effects of the COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, the ripple effects, you have heard it many times. We've said it before, affects communities of color 10 times more than it is affecting anyone else.
Yes.
I mean, because guess what? Now you're looking at who's on the register when you go to the grocery store. Now you're looking at the bus drivers. You're looking at the custodians or the housekeepers, people who are in jobs that you've overlooked or looked down on and seen as minuscule, but are in a position to where they can't stay home. They can't stay home. They have to work. They don't have a choice. Now, guess what? They can't stay home with their son or daughter who's now at home trying to go to school virtually. The next ripple effect down, and it just goes on and on and on and on, and our kids are getting left behind. It's just the reality of it. So, and so then what happens? The job that they had or the business where they were working, it closes. Now they're on the verge of getting evicted. Then the program runs out. They get evicted. Now they don't have any place to stay. They're struggling. They're barely putting food on the table. The ripple effect is much greater. And we have to recognize and understand that. Miss Harris, I see you. You're rolling with Ramsey today. You have to be able to recognize that, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, talking about the ripple effect, when you look at what happens when, and now I'm going to bring it back to the Black community, look at what happens when the Black community spends its money in the Black community. I had this weekend, I went to a restaurant, a Black-owned restaurant, family-owned restaurant. And I know the family.
The barbecue joint?
The son. Huh?
The barbecue joint? The barbecue?
Oh, no. But I saw the son, and I was just like, hey, tell him to come here. So he came over here. We started chatting it up. And then he told me that I posted a business on Instagram, and he had always wanted to get into the oil business, you know, the essential oils. Mm-hmm. He always wanted to get into the oil business. So the day after I posted this business, he went to the business, told them that he saw the business on my page, asked him for a job, got a job. Where can you, that's that network, that's that community alliance I'm talking about. But check this out. The young brother, 24 years old, he said he paid me good. He paid me $100 a day. He said, but he said, I wasn't excited about the money. He said he taught me the business.
Education.
So
come on now.
And imagine that in our community, going to a business, getting hired on by that business being so confident in who he is and so invested in giving back to his community that he taught the man the business that so well that he could potentially become his competitor. But he didn't care about that. So when you talk about the ripple effect, I don't look at the negative. I'm looking at what are we creating in our own community to help our generation.
That's right.
It's generational wealth.
That's what we have to continue to do, because I see your app as a conduit to change mindsets, and you have to be able to change mindsets. If you can change your thought process, you can think differently. You'll start to act differently. You'll react differently. You'll approach things totally differently. But we have to be able to open up those doors, open up those windows, and welcome folks in to that education. Just like you said, yeah. He taught him the business. What is the parable? Say, hey, feed a man, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. He gave him the knowledge and said, hey, now you might become my competitor, but now you have the knowledge. What are you going to do?
You're going to always be my brother.
Come on now. And that's a beautiful thing. So right now, here's a question for you. Right now, put you on the spot. How many businesses currently listed? It's growing every day.
Well, last time I checked, it was 3,043, I think. But I hadn't checked in a couple of days. I go on it. I go on the app every day, the admin every day, but I don't check the businesses every day.
Oh, wow. 3,043. So
internationally, we're in Africa. We're on every continent. We are on every continent.
Nice. So that being said, I got to make sure I get listed on there as a podcast. And say, look.
Yeah. And when I go places, like I was just thinking, you know what, Ramsey, I was thinking about that today. I swear to you, I was just like, because I just went on a road trip.
Right.
I was like, how many people can actually go on the other side of the country and run into somebody that's downloaded their app or knows who you are? Like I've had that happen in Charleston, in Birmingham, in St. Louis. Like I've had that happen, like just everywhere I've gone. Whether it was for work or for play. I've had some. Yeah, I'm the owner of Melanin Enterprise. I try to always wear my shirts, and they'll say, "I got that on my phone." I'm like, "Hey,
that's what's up." And I know that. You know what? I know what that feeling is like. I'm gonna tell you. My last pleasurable trip, Labor Day weekend, I was at an RV resort outside of Nashville. And somebody was like, "So you're rolling with Ramsey?" They saw it on the back of the coach. They saw the sign I had in front of the coach. I said, "Yeah." Oh man, you know what? I follow you. I'm listening to you. And it's kind of cool. It's definitely a good thing when you're reaching out to people, and people want to hear what you have to say. That's a beautiful thing. Going back, unfortunately, I don't want to miss a moment, and I don't mean to be somber, but I saw where a friend of mine had posted that the woman who got shot today up at the Capitol passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So may she rest in peace, whoever she is. What I do know is that I'm quite sure she didn't wake up this morning thinking that today was going to be her last day on this earth. So I'm sure she has a family, and my heart goes out to whoever she is and her family. Prayers are definitely going up. Wow. I want to tell everybody right now, you all are rolling with Ramsey. It's 2021, and I got a smile because I'm on with Marine Corps veteran EMichele Paul, CEO and founder of Melanin Enterprises, which is an app that allows you to support, find, and locate Black-owned businesses internationally, not just here in the United States, which is a wonderful thing. Now, I'm about to put her on the spot. What you all don't know that I know is that she's a nature lover. When I tell you she is a nature lover, she might as well be Mother Nature. She loves nature.
My children call me a Lorex.
She loves nature, and she has such a beautiful spirit when it comes to that. Tell me, I know that you all made some pretty cool stops on the way back. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, she flew out to Seattle, Washington, and she drove back with her son from Seattle, Washington, all the way back to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was following her trip along the way. I think you guys stopped in Denver, right? Colorado? Y'all stopped in Colorado?
Yeah, we stopped. There's a bunch of pictures I may never post. I was just like, man, I just got tired of posting pictures.
So did you see the blue giant or whatever? Did you go see it?
Yeah, the blue bear. Yes.
So is he is that like up next to a building? Is he there all the time?
Yeah, he was looking in the building.
So he's there all the time. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the list of places I got to stop and see.
Yes. I went to Muhammad Ali's house. I haven't put that up there yet. It's so crazy because he lived in a house like this big, like in real life. He was, and that was considered middle class in a Black neighborhood. I mean, I swear it looked like it was like 400 or 500 square feet.
Tiny house. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you stopped in Louisville, St. Louis.
Yeah, I went to Breonna Taylor's memorial.
Okay.
I cried like a baby. Wow. I cried like a baby. Oh my God. Like, it's no longer just her memorial. What we don't know, I actually talked to the brother. 3 people since Breonna got killed by cops, one by National Guard, 2 by cops in Louisville since Breonna Taylor. And I was like, why? I asked the brother of one of the gentlemen who was killed by the National Guardsmen. I was like, why don't we know about it? He was like, the world stopped caring. I was like, are y'all still protesting? He was like, we still protesting. He said, but everybody out for their own now. He was like, everybody's creating all of these organizations and they just lost sight.
They're not working together.
They're not working together.
And and it's funny that you mentioned that. As much as we're trying to bridge the gap and we're looking for this next generation to step up, and you see some of them trying to do so, they still haven't been taught how to unify and work together with their resources to say, hey, we're much stronger if we all just fall up under this umbrella, as opposed to being so spread thin that we, like you said, that we've lost focus.
Latasha, I heard Latasha Brown on the news today, and they were talking about Georgia's win and the historic moment of Reverend Warnock being the first Black senator
from the
from
South.
the South.
Right, right.
And they asked her how did that happen? She said organized people, hang on a minute. She said organized people create real change or something to that. Organized people.
Oh, well,
And that word right there, I was like,
oh, well,
that was a word.
no, well, most definitely because I watched for it today, and I saw a lot of people give a lot of credit, and I respect the Republican gentleman who ran the election there in Georgia. He didn't want to say Stacey Abrams' name. He danced all around it, but Stacey Abrams is a beast. That's just
Yeah.
there's just no ifs ands buts about it. She's a beast. She took up a cause. She organized, like we're saying. She didn't just organize with her group. She organized. She brought many groups together for the same purpose and cause.
Yes.
Whether it was fraternities, sororities, biker clubs,
Churches.
churches, hip hop artists. She got everybody to say, "Listen, we have got to get this together. This is what we've got to do." And she got everybody on one accord. Organized people. You're absolutely right. And unfortunately, this generation, they're full of life. They're full of vigor. They can make some noise. They can come together. They can march.
Mhm.
It's just now, how do you organize it and to not have people criticize it, scrutinize it, put it through the sifter, tear it down, just so that they can keep their momentum going, so they can keep that zeal and fire going, so that they can affect change. And that's a challenge for us all to try to be able to help them do so. That's a challenge just as much for myself as for anybody else to be able to help them do so, because we've seen what organized change can do. Like you
Yeah.
said, organized change. That's a very good thing. I'm gonna put that in my kick bag. I'm gonna take that from you there. You might see me with a shirt on tomorrow to say organized change.
Can you still see me?
Of course I can. I ain't lost your look. You still rolling with Ramsey. I got you. I told you. You ain't got to worry about what's going on over there on your end. I got you on my end. If I couldn't, I'd tell you. But
Okay.
listen, before I let you get up out of here, I want you to tell everybody, give them the rundown, where they can find the app, your Instagram info, all the good stuff that you want to share about what you got going on.
So my to download the app, it's Melanin Enterprise. The mobile app, it's free for both members or conscious consumers and business owners. If you sign up as a business owner, you're not going to be able to see it from a consumer side, so you'll have to sign up as a consumer. Sorry, I'm working to change that. My Instagram is Melanin Enterprise, but I also host game nights. The purpose of our game nights is to bring the community together to support Black-owned businesses and strengthen community alliances. Same as my app, except instead of doing it through the app, I actually do it through our events. So if you're anywhere in the Charlotte area, we've had people come from Florida. We've had people come from Charleston. Our last event, we had people come from Orangeburg. I know we're in a pandemic. We're being really safe. We're limiting our people to 20 people, period. But if you're in the area and you just, you want to break and you want to, fellowship, you're going to be playing games and drinking wine. So, and listening to music, listening to baby. But if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, surrounding areas, you can find out information about our events when we're hosting them. If you want us to bring an event to your town, we can do that too. We're going to be in Baltimore next month in February, hosting our first event of the year in Baltimore, Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're working on some other things. So if you want us to bring our event to your city, definitely hit us up. You can contact me via Instagram, Facebook, or the app, Melanin Enterprise. If you're interested in one of our advertising packages, Ramsey will give you my number. Call me, please. Don't text me. I'm not near my phone, y'all. I'm old. So
All right, you all heard it. All you gotta do is reach out to me if you're serious about it. And real quick, before I let her get up out of here, I'm gonna let her drop some science real quick. She also has a wine business, y'all, that she hasn't mentioned. She mentioned about drinking some wine, but you don't know. And she always, her wine business always gives back to her cause as well. So tell them about that a little bit.
So the cause we're giving back until January 8th is the Equal Justice Initiative. If anybody's seen Just Mercy, or if anybody's gone to the it's called the Peace and Justice Museum
That's
in
right.
Alabama, but the nickname is the Lynching Museum because it
Right.
shows the history of lynching in America.
It's in Montgomery,
Um,
Montgomery,
right.
Alabama. Yep.
Both I win. I know you said you win. The 10% of all of the wine that you buy goes to EJI, the Equal Justice Initiative.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank you personally for coming on, talking about the events of today, talking about Melanin Enterprises,
Yes, sir.
sharing your app and what you're doing and everything that you have going on with my audience as well. There's nothing like networking on that level, and it has just truly been a blessing. I want to tell you, you are phenomenal in your own right, and keep doing what you do. And like I like to tell all my guests, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And so, um, I'm just saying once again, it was a pleasure to have you on. And hey, and I will see you and talk to you soon.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to spend my evening rolling with Ramsey.
Come on now, that's what's up. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
All righty then. Bye bye.
Bye. Oh wow, that was great, guys. That was awesome being able to have Miss EMichele Paul on, the CEO and founder of Melanin Enterprises. She has a great thing going. Make sure you download the app. You've got to check it out. It is really cool. It's a really cool tool to have. Just to recap really quick, and like I said, there's a link to Melanin Enterprises on the Rolling with Ramsey Facebook page. If you're serious about what you're doing, all you got to do is drop me a message or drop Rolling with Ramsey a message, and I can link you up with Miss Paul. Too easy. Today's events. We made history today for the wrong reason here in the United States. It's just that simple. We made history for the wrong reason. As a veteran, I'm appalled at what I saw. I couldn't have been more disappointed. But this too shall pass. We can do better. And this is not what you saw today was not my United States of America. We will get through this. We are better than this. We are better than this. We're better than this. I'm going to say it again. You have the right to support who you want to support politically. That's the country, that's the beauty of the country that we live in. But at the same time, what I'm asking you to do is to wake up and hear the alarm of truth. Hear the alarm of truth, because it is ringing so loud that there is no reason that you shouldn't be able to hear it. This isn't a dream anymore. Today was a nightmare. Wake up. The man has been lying from day one. The election was not rigged. It was the most secure election that we've had in the history of this nation. It wasn't stolen. What happened was people exercised their right to vote like never before. And they want something different. That's the beauty of our democracy. Don't throw it all away for a con man. Don't throw it all away for this grifter. Don't throw it all away for this charlatan. Don't throw it all away for this sham of a president. Wake up, America, if you're not already woke. You all have been rolling with Ramsey. Another week has gone by. I love you all. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And remember, you can listen to Rolling with Ramsey on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Save Radio, and also Amazon. I think it's Audible and Amazon Music as well. So listen, I need you to like the Rolling with Ramsey Facebook page, share it with your friends, follow us on Instagram, tell your friends to do that as well, and subscribe to the Rolling with Ramsey YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter too. So I love all you all. Like I said, there's nothing you can do about it. Listen, I will see you all next week. And guess what? Another week is gone by, and you all have officially been doing what? Rolling with Ramsey.
It's drastic when you coming from a certain demographic, no more.